Good morning, guys. Happy Thursday. Whoop. So beautiful outside. All right, we're going to do a quick read on the drive. Started off with the Oracle. Say yes to a favor. And then we're going to confirm it with tarot cards. See what it wants to do. So say yes to a favor concerning the King of Cups. So if you guys are in a relationship and your husband or wife, really, Cups means somebody who's pretty much like your lover, your home taker. It's Cups is all about love and romance, and somebody who usually takes great care of somebody. They're just really loving and sweet and kind, you know, like the best father or the best husband type of vibe. This does not have to be a personal relationship. It could just be somebody that's just there for you and really caring for you. So I heard right now, just think about that person in your heart that you're thinking is the sweetest, you know, most caring person ever. They do need some help right now, I'm hearing, and they are not somebody who asks for help really ever. You're going to notice this person maybe ask you to do something. I feel like the word inconvenient for you might be coming up at this time, but it is really necessary for this person to get some type of help. So do say yes if anybody asks you to do a favor today. It would really benefit them. Love yourself. And I do see fighting the urge on the back, so let's do both. Love yourself is confirmed with... Oh, I left my coffee. Love yourself is confirmed with temperance in the reverse. So some of you guys are not practicing patience. You're being very impatient with yourself. You're probably rushing yourself and just making yourself feeling... I heard the word critical. You are making yourself do... You're just being really hard on yourself. I feel like some of you guys made a mistake of some sort recently. Is the energy I'm picking up, and you're just really beating yourself up for it. You wish that you had never done that. You feel like also like it was whatever you did that caused this whole episode of events, and that's not true. That's not true. Everybody that's involved is responsible for those events occurring, because even if you did do something, I feel like these events for some of you guys happen more than once. And anytime something happens more than once and people recognize that there's an issue, both people or more than both people, however many are involved, they are all actually expected to make a change. Even if you're the one who's getting disruptive. I heard volatile or I did not hear violent, but whatever, like volatile or whatever that would mean. I feel like you get very disruptive, and feel like your blood, somebody's blood boils a lot. They might get really tense or upset, and I'm picturing somebody who gets really upset and is trying to like calm themselves down or has an anger issue. And so you might actually have been somebody in the past who would like be very violent or smash things or volatile, whatever exactly volatile means. I feel like volatile, if that's even a word, has a different meaning than violent. And I feel like you're somebody who might be like 100%, or you try to get down. I don't think you're at 0%, but I do think you're at about 30% anger when you're trying to control it. And it is good that some of you guys are trying to control it and not freak out. But I still see that there's not resolution in the approach that you're having, or this, you know, what you're trying to do. Because I feel like some of you guys still have like face expressions when you get angry. And what you're doing is you're feeling your fucking blood boiling all the way up to 30-40%. And then you might walk away or walk out from the person that's upsetting you. So you go from, you just still have no communication in the matter for some of you guys on this card. 8 of Pentacles, and fighting the urge with the 8 of Pentacles. So 8 of Pentacles, you see here in this card that this person is they've worked really hard in this relationship, and this is probably regarding the last the last card that was pulled too, that anger that I feel like some of you guys have, you do know that it's the way that you react, you feel like it's the way that you react that's causing this separation or this breakup possibly. But even if you did do everything right, this is just showing that these people can't get it together. The 7 and the 8 for me when it comes to really anything in a couple is it's a long journey, several years together, and it's been a mess for years and years and years. A lot of times in this type of relationship, you guys started fighting right off top, right from the get-go. And it's very hard because when you're in your 20s, especially your early 20s, you don't give up on relationships very easy. And a lot of people end up spending close to a decade a lot of times with a lover. Usually it's going to be one of their top 3 first loves. It says that you're fighting the urge. And fighting the urge, I feel like, for this matter, I just feel like it means blow the fuck up again on this person. And we just talked about, your anger, you're trying to bring it down, but yet no matter whether or not you're smashing shit or going off, or walking away and feeling your blood boil to that 30-40%, and then you're like, no, I'm not fucking doing this, and you're like, but it's still all over your face. And the energy is being passed around in the room for some of you guys. And so this person, no matter what, still feels unheard and hurt because you're reacting in a way that you're showing complete face expression saying you're fucking pissed. And that's something that whoever I'm talking to needs to work on. You need to understand that most of the message that we say or send comes from our face expressions, body language, and tone. It's the words we choose are actually the least valuable in our body language and in our communication skills. So you guys, you need to look that up for whoever I'm speaking to. It sounds like you really feel a lot of guilt over this whole situation occurring the way that it has. You even blame yourself, and you're starting to lose your self-esteem for some of you guys. It's really just, it's breaking you down. You're starting yourself to feel like a piece of shit. And your mindset, these might be words that you're saying to yourself or out loud, and you guys got to stop talking down about yourself. You manifest what you think and what you feel. So even if you're saying something out of trying to get attention, maybe you're having a bad day, but the more you say something, it becomes an actual reality. So it only takes 2 months' time for what we think and what we do to actually become programmed into our brains and become a way of life. So some of you guys might be announcing things honestly to get attention from people, and it might sound really just like depressing. I'm hearing depressing and also heard hateful, but in this talking down to yourself, it's almost like you're trying to go from the stage of raging now to beating yourself down and verbalizing that you're such a piece of shit. That's not the right approach either. Neither approach is going to work for you, and I feel like for whoever I'm talking to, you know exactly how to act. You know exactly what to do, and there may be something in your life, like for me it would be addictions of different sorts. Obviously, as I was telling my friend the other day, we try to live in both worlds. So you might have an ulterior thing that you like to be a part of, and that's fine. I mean, you can do whatever you want, but at the end of the day, like if you've ever harmed another person on it, if you've gotten in trouble on it, these are the questions I ask whenever an event occurs that's negative. Were you clean and sober? Were you where you were supposed to be? And did you do the right thing? And the right thing does not have to be anything in particular. Your body and your mind and soul will say, it'll give you a conscience, like a conscious feeling when you're doing anything. And you're going to know right off top that first feeling that you get when you're asked, hey, do you want to go do this? You're going to be like, ooh, I might get in trouble. That's the moment of truth for you. It's not about, oh, that Nancy says it's right. It's about, was it right for you and your individual interests and your experiences, and have you ever had a bad experience on it? And if you can answer no to all those questions and you were doing or yes to all those questions, actually, because you'd want to know, were you clean and sober, or did you do what's right, and were you where you were supposed to be? And there's tons of times, you know, that
Where are you going?
Wait, what?
Just, you can drop me off here.
Oh shit, that's
You can
wrong,
drop me
huh?
off here.
I went on a road too far.
Here.
Hey, can I get a hug?
Yeah.
I love you. Have a good day. Oh, sorry. She's such a fucking teen. What are you doing? What are you doing? I'm just dropping you off, Queen Halo. Would you like anything else, darling? I won't look. Nope, I don't know her. She's nothing I know. Nope, I'm just her chauffeur. I'm a piece of shit. Her rich mother pays me to take her. This is just insane. I didn't even do anything wrong. I'm so confused, you know? Sorry. Sorry, my daughter upset me. My bad. So cute, little baby. What are you doing? I can't even concentrate now. Ever since she turned, 9 was the last good year we had together. We were doing cartwheels in the park, living our best life, and now all of a sudden I'm just fucking old Nancy piece of shit, fucking suck my balls. So you can just call me fucking nobody. I don't have a best friend anymore. I'm just fucking the chauffeur. I'm back. So yeah, this is my fucking naughty card too. I didn't necessarily try to be naughty, but I'm back, motherfucker, I'm back. Well, when I honestly think about it, I go back to clear back to 2007 for me, and I haven't admitted that yet. Because there's a lot of times that card comes out and it's pretty damn accurate, to be honest. And if we were to actually admit I'm back is back, who the fuck is that? Who the fuck are we saying is back? We know who the fuck we're saying is back. A part of us who nobody in our family, for one, wants us to be. These would all be answers that we answered yes to on the 3 questions. Or no to, actually. I don't know why I get so confused. But no, those are the ones where you're like, were you clean and sober? And you're like, no. Were you doing the right thing? No. Were you where you were supposed to be? No. That's when your I'm back man has arrived. I'm back. Basically what's happening is, for some of you guys, I describe it like this. Somebody said that when we drown our problems, for one, it only teaches them how to swim. But they described what happens over time is like, first you got this little fucking issue, and you're like, fuck, I got this issue, and it's fucking on your mind, and now it's on your, you just feel like it's weighing you down, and then you got another issue, then you got another issue. For some people, you may not be prompt with problem solution, and you might have an issue with procrastination. So it's extremely important that you promptly solve any issue. Issues automatically give us anxiety. And the brain doesn't like to deal with issues. So it will automatically go into fight or flight mode. It's gonna panic. That's what it's actually programmed to do. It's programmed to defend you, your body. So it doesn't know how else to act. You just really got to study up on what the human brain does and how it works. Once you understand that it's a literal it's like a computer. It's a program. And when you take too much on, it's like downloading so much at the same time, and it can actually cause you to crash just like a computer. It's the exact same fucking thing. So you guys got to get your to-do list out. You must do it, whether it's cleaning the gutters, whether it's, even if it's hanging up the Christmas lights, if it's getting your kids' fucking bus things set up. I did all that yesterday. Apparently she still just acts like she has no fucking idea how to ride the bus because she's fucking green, but you just gotta do it. And I'm gonna give you another example. Even when you do everything perfect and people still say, fuck off, bitch, they're gonna. I literally let my daughter order almost $400 in fucking school shit. I didn't even check what she ordered. I never had that growing up, and I'm not even complaining. I'm just saying, I've literally spoiled this fucking kid. And she acts like a fucking diva now. It's a big mistake. But, obviously she gets rides to school. She fucking has her fucking iPhone. She literally has her own room upstairs with a bathroom. She's got her $400 in clothes. I set up all her sports shit, made sure she has her physical, all her doctor's appointments. I mean, I set up her fucking volleyball already, and it's not even needed to be done until, she says, the end of October. It doesn't matter. Like, I went above and beyond because she is a priority to me. Do you know? And I've also cooked dinner. Literally, you guys have been watching me cook. I've been cooking homemade meals. I've been cleaning and everything. I do all her laundry and fold. I mean, I take great care of her. And literally, just the other day, I caught her lying about something, and so she deflected it, and literally, and I'm noticing now because I'm studying on the human brain. I'm studying personality types, and she is a type B personality where I'm type A. If you guys knew anything about that too, you would start to see why people act the ways that they do. Instead of being like, oh, they're acting this way to me. It's not about you. It's about evolving and understanding. And any time that somebody is upsetting you, even when you have the right to be mad, you are giving your power away to that person. With maturity and with maturity and with understanding of how to respecting ourselves prevents other people from disrespecting us. The level of disrespect that you might receive is gonna drop, I'd say 80 or more % just by you respecting yourself. And you can simply even start with just saying, what has already happened in my life and that I felt pain or sadness over, get that person off the list. It's simple. You can give the whole world a try, but you should be using your discernment, and you should be using common sense. And common sense is saying, like, if people are into bad things that are illegal, right off top, you could possibly be with them at any given minute and get popped. You can't complain and say, Joey over here fucking got me fucking in trouble when he came over to my house with a pound of fucking Yola. But you knew he was on it, and you let him in, and you did it too that night. So those are just different things you can look at. You gotta have accountability in order to actually change. But what I was gonna say is, even though with all those things that I did for her, that day that I talked to her about another thing, she deflected and she just told me I'm such a piece of shit. She tried to use some of the guys that I had been dating and saying, oh, you're such a piece of shit. But she had already tried that shit years ago. They told me 4 years ago not to have another boyfriend, basically, or they were gonna fucking Donkey Kong my ass, which I respect. I was dating fucking literal fucking retards, and I was bringing them home. Edward kind of he was pretty frightening for everybody just because it was a unique situation. It was terrible. It was pretty bad. Yeah, I actually feel real shitty about not knowing how to be a better mom and not knowing how to respect myself more and, be single. And I haven't let anybody live with me in 4 years, but I'll never honestly I just feel shitty. I don't feel shitty about, like, what happened. What I feel shitty about is that's how they felt. In their heart, that's how they were feeling, and all those days that they thought that. And you know what, as a young mom, even in our 20s, this is what I'm saying, like, when you're in your 20s, you just have this whole different mindset, man. You literally fucking think you're a couple. And a couple is what creates a family. And you feel devastated the minute you're not a couple anymore and shit. And like, that's what codependency is. And when you're codependent on your lover, you really gotta understand that it's nobody's fucking fault, you guys. You can't be so hard on yourself right now. And we're gonna. And you also need to be able to talk about things too that have happened. And it took me years to be able to do that. I had a lot of shame. I was also very fearful that if I talked about things that were happening, my kids would get taken as well. I didn't know how to talk about the abuse that I was going through. And I didn't know how to stop abusing myself either. I also didn't know how to take time in between my relationships. And when we manifest how we feel and what we think about, even if you have a new face, it's going to have the same problems, new face. And it's going to be in the amount of time that you spent doing something different that's going to really show you really how much of a chance you have at change. Yuck. So fucking disgusting. Ugh. Yeah, however much things you did different, how many days passed, because time doesn't actually, time doesn't change things. You doing different things. You need to enjoy new experiences is how you change. You can't run yourself on the exact same schedule and expect to turn out different. You have to do different things, and it's gonna be hard. When I broke up with Zeke, it was really hard for me to go do things. We used to camp. We were big on nature. Like, we did sports and camping. The last year we were together, we went on 16 camping trips. He actually just sent me a picture and he said this was our 14th camping trip that year. And I didn't even, I don't know, we'd never really talked about it. I've never really dealt with mine and Zeke's breakup, to be honest. Unfortunately for us, my boss hung himself, and I found him, and we'd been together for 8 years, and we did some really phenomenal things. We overcame my CPS case, and he was 19 when he took my kids on, and I didn't necessarily end up as the custodial parent of all of them, but I didn't lose rights to any of them. I basically was baby daddy to some, and custodial to others. So I at least luckily did get to raise my son and my daughter, my youngest for the most part. My twins, my mom raised the whole time. I feel like that's a cop. I mean, I hate police. But I hated that too, you know, I hated so much. But really at the end of the day, I hated myself. And I was feeling a lot like you. I was beating myself up and felt like I was such a piece of shit. But then, as I started learning about the brain, I realized, you know what? The truth is, it's not a cop. It's a hot guy in a new car. I realized that, did you guys know, even for example, you're not supposed to have children until in between 26 and 30 because your body is not actually capable of being the best parent that it can be. It's not fully developed. Another thing that you could learn is, you can't even feel true empathy or pain or remorse for the things that you've already done until in your 40s, because that's when that part of your brain develops. So, like I was mentioning in some of my other videos, man, just look at your age, look at what your brain is doing at this time, and how you and your body and brain and the life experiences should all just kind of be flowing and coming in together. It's going to tell you how your brain will perceive things at the age that you are. And as you guys know, that when you're every decade, you're going to actually go through hormone changes as well. Major hormone changes. And people forget that, but when you're little, when you're 10, you're a lot fucking different than when you're 20. So every decade, if your hair's changing, your skin's changing, it's because your hormones are changing, because you're growing. Just because you're 18 or over doesn't mean that your body is done developing. So the body is a program, and it's just like a computer. And if you got too much going on, you're going to download viruses and you're going to crash.